playoffs. We learned yesterday James Harden is out indefinitely after suffering a setback with that hamstring. Happened during a rehab on-court session on Monday. Not expected back most likely till the start of the postseason. The injury bug bites Brooklyn yet again. Here's head coach Steve Nash.
Back to square one. We'll rehabilitate him and get him back whenever we can. And who knows when that'll be, but we'll support James and we'll support our performance team in getting him back and in his best condition as possible. And hopefully that comes, sooner than later, but that there's no guarantee. So we just keep chipping away. We keep moving forward and we hope for a speedy recovery.
It's hard to put speedy recovery and out indefinitely in the same sentence. But get this, Harden has played more games and minutes with the Rockets this season than he has with KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn. Pretty shocking. Chris Broussard joining us now. Broussard, good morning to you. So how concerned should Nets fans be? You've been pretty confident with this team, but how concerned should they be now?
Well, Jenna, I heard through the grapevine that Brandon Marshall said I was fair weather for being concerned. But I actually say I'm an analyst, Brandon Marshall. I watch what happens and I analyze it. I don't come out here with blind faith, all right? Yes, the Nets fans should be very concerned. If your goal is a championship, be very concerned. With just two of their big three, they are a contender. Doesn't mean they're the favorite, but they're certainly a contender. But to win a championship, they need James Harden and Kevin Durant more than anybody. Like, if they've got James Harden and Kevin Durant healthy, I think they could win the championship. I don't think Kyrie and KD would beat LeBron and AD. They'd be a contender to win the East for sure. But I like the Lakers duo over KD and Kyrie. Harden has been the key to this thing. Look, they're 2-3 when it's just KD and Kyrie. They were 7-6 when James Harden came aboard. He is the key because of his playmaking, the selflessness that he played with. That's when the team took off. And James Harden does not sit out for rest or sit out for just to be extra cautious. Over his 8 years in Houston, he was an Iron Man. So this hamstring injury has me concerned because, look, Kevin Durant was out 6.5 weeks with an injury that initially the Nets said would be about, 2 games at least. Okay? The playoffs start in 4 weeks. So this is a big concern. The one saving grace for the Nets, obviously they got tremendous talent, so that helps. But the saving grace is that the entire league is a bit banged up, particularly in the West. The Lakers, let's see what LeBron's out, not going to be back for a few weeks. Let's see what he looks like. Now Kawhi's out with the foot injury. Damian Lillard has got an injury. Donovan Mitchell has an injury. Denver, Jamal Murray is out.
Denver,
the East,
yep.
Tobias has the little knee, and Joel Embiid can always be a bit of a question mark. So the East is a little healthier, but that is the one thing that might help the Nets is that everybody's battling with this same thing. So who knows what teams will be well-oiled machines as we head into the playoffs because they're not practicing much either.
Yeah, Chris, you said it all. I mean, the league is very injured this year. There's lots of stars who are either out or are injured right now. I think it's just baby steps for the Nets. Maybe we're giving the Nets too much credit, or like we're leaning too much into how much talent they have and how great they've looked during the regular season. Harden has been massive for them. He's played brilliant basketball. I can admit I didn't really love Harden's game before he got to Brooklyn, and I really enjoyed watching him. He was huge for them. I don't think they can win a championship without him. I think we're all still being optimistic about the Nets because we've seen what he did and what they've been able to do, and there were a lot of questions about the chemistry, and they've managed to have a great regular season. But I mean, this should kind of be panic mode, no? Like, there's so many injuries. You can't rely on Kyrie all the time to even be there. They haven't played together. It's just because they're in the East that we're probably even still putting them in the contention conversation. Like, they haven't played together. This is very concerning. You want to be 100% healthy going into the playoffs. You want to have all chemistry issues ironed out. You want to feel like it is a lockstep right through the playoffs. as you're entering it. It's 14, 15 games away. This is a very scary situation for the Nets. And as you mentioned, Harden is not an injury-prone player. He's not somebody that rests. He's not somebody that takes games off. He has issues showing up big in the playoffs, maybe because he burns out during the regular season or because he doesn't take those games off. But he's not an injury-prone player or liability physically. So this is very concerning overall for the Nets.
Okay, Joy, so like I said earlier, I'm glad that you're on the show today and not Nick, because I'm also admitting for the very first time that, yes, I am concerned and I'm a bit frustrated.
Wow.
I'm a fan and I want to see the big three together. I feel like, I bought the jerseys, I'm ready to sit down on the couch with my sons and just check out these three amazing players, some of the best players the league has ever seen play together. We're not seeing that. However, now, Chris, you're saying, oh, well, because I'm an analyst. Well, yeah, I'm an athlete. And let me tell you something. Get it done. It doesn't matter. That's why I called you Fair Weather, is because 1 week you came up here and said, it is over, brother. It is over. The Nets is going to take it all. And then you came back a couple days later when we lost to Philly or whoever it was, and you're like, oh, well, I'm concerned. No, keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. Why? Because every team is dealing with something. Yes, this is what they're dealing with. They're dealing with injuries. But what did you see Steve Nash do? He sat there. He answered the question, he maintained his composure, and he said, look, we'll figure it out. When you start seeing Steve Nash panic, Nets fans, NBA fans, when you start seeing KD panic and Kyrie and James Harden panic, that's when you panic. But in that locker room, you are trained. There is no excuses. Get the job done. And that's what they have been doing all year. They are one game out of the one seed in the East. Think about that, Chris.
Look,
so, yes, stop being fair weather, keep the same energy, and you know what it is, man. You know what time it is.
I love it.
Look, when I went full Kenny Smith mode, it's over, let's go home, that was based on them being healthy. All right, can they be healthy? This isn't football, man. Yeah, you roll in the locker room with dirt on your jersey and your pants all messed up and blood everywhere and say, let's get it done. This is basketball, man. These dudes ain't built like that. I mean, so, and I think halfway through that segment.
Notes. They need to take notes because I'm a paying fan. I'm a paying fan, and I want to see them get it done.
Man, look, halfway through your segment, you realize, uh-oh, I'm agreeing with Chris. I'm admitting on national TV, Chris talked some sense into me. So let me jump on Chris and change my tune. You admitted you're concerned, too. You got to be. I mean, I love them as much as you, Brandon, but they got to be healthy. And can I get a little chemistry? A little bit, just a little.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right.
Doesn't look like it. Go ahead.
K-Dub, I know you want to jump in here, but yes, I am concerned. Let me bring it down a little bit. The reason why I'm concerned is because, obviously, when you talk about a team, and basketball is a team sport, chemistry and continuity does matter. We're talking about a team, when you get into the postseason, there's communication on the defensive side, communication on the offensive side. Who's hot? What are we doing? Those are the things you need to see. So, yes, there's a lot of concern there when it comes to on the court. But I think the biggest concern is if these dudes have been unhealthy all year, what makes us believe that they're going to make it through the postseason healthy? So that's the concern.
Okay, see, Brandon is concerned, but he doesn't want to be. Right now, you're watching someone on TV that's fighting with himself like, I'm concerned.